Good morning to you all. Welcome to the Namaste Experience. It is Monday, and I'm joined here by a good friend of Vicky and my own, our good friend Christian, who is visiting here in Chicago. So we're going to bring him in here in a minute, but so happy to have you here,
Good.
Christian.
It's nice to
Wonderful.
be here.
Yes,
Yeah.
good. So today we're going to have a very, well, we hesitate to use the word special. Any Course in Miracles student uh, leans away from that word because special means different, set apart, higher than. And we're not using it in that regard here. Here we're using it in the regard of essential. This is an essential lesson for us to receive and understand. And we're certainly going to be doing that today. And let me tell you how this comes to play here. I was imagining right before the session began, if you were coming to visit my house, like this house, which I'm staying at, and this is, as you can see, this is Irving. I'm taking care of Irving, and let's say Irving is in this house, and I he's going to come right up and join us, and I really need you to get inside so that you can come and take care of Irving and have a place to sleep. As you can see, he's very affectionate. He needs a lot of attention. But the door was locked and you needed to get inside. What would I do? Well, one thing that I might do is I might plant a number of keys, hide them in different places outside the house, under rocks, under pots, different places where you're going to definitely be able to ultimately find so you can get in and take care of Irving. And it's interesting because this is exactly what Jesus does in A Course in Miracles. He has certain keys that open the door if we would allow, if we would simply find that key and then use that key. It's one thing to find the key, but if you never put it in the lock and turned the lock, you still would never get in the door. So we need to find the key, discover it, realize it, and then use it to actually open the lock, open the door, and then come inside and feed Irving. So, what is probably the main key that Jesus puts into A Course in Miracles? Here it is. One lesson. I am as God created me. I am as God created me right here, right now. There's nothing I need to do but to realize this or to see this with my real eyes and then to share that. It's not just me. It's not just Christian or even this affectionate Irving. It's each and every single one of us. We are and will remain exactly as we were created by God. There's nothing that we can do to interrupt or change that fact. I am as God created me right here, right now. So, this is something that we're going to look at today. And then I'm going to show you a video that we created, that I created over the weekend, that I think is going to take this home. But before we do that, I want to read a little bit from lesson 94 from A Course in Miracles that reveals this key very clearly. So the lesson, as oh, by the way, I just wanted to say, Jesus leaves this key outside here 13 different times in the course. I think there are three different lessons, but if you count it up, how many times he says this one line, I am as God created me, in all of those lessons and in the entire course, it comes up 13 different times. So in lesson 94, this is what he says. I am as God created me. Today we continue with the one idea which brings complete salvation. Complete salvation. The one statement which makes all forms of temptation powerless. The one thought which renders the ego silent and entirely undone. You are as God created you. The sounds of this world are still now. The sights of this world disappear, and all the thoughts that this world ever held are wiped away forever by this one idea. Here is salvation accomplished. Here is sanity restored. I am as God created me. Just breathe that in for a moment. If this is true, and I promise you that it is, then every possible problem, every thought of incompletion that you've ever had is meaningless. Meaningless in reality. It may seem to have meaning in the illusion or the world that we make up in our imagination, but in reality, if we can claim this and realize that I am right now exactly as I am, as God created me, and that there's nothing in this world that can change that, then everything else falls into place. The tumblers of that lock fall into place when I put that key into the door of heaven, and turn it, the lock opens, the door opens, and we step right in, just from those few words. But they aren't just words. This is something for us to live and something for us to share. And we do so with gladness. We do so with joy. And that brings me to the other thing that I wanted to share. I have been creating a character that I think is going to be helpful in bringing about this and many other ideas. And the character's name is Radiant Rabbit. So over the weekend, I started playing around with this character, Radiant Rabbit, and I made a couple of videos, and I'm going to share a few of them this week. So I'm just going to invite you to sit back and enjoy this, and then I'm going to bring Christian on before we bring on Vicky and Penny Honey. So let's enjoy Radiant Rabbit.
Awake, my friend, and sing a song of gladness. Awaken and remember who you are. For the light has come to release you from sadness, and the peace of God is not too far. No, the peace of God is not too far. Never far away from a mind that remembers that love alone is all you really need. The time has come at last for you to surrender, for the peace of God will now lead you home to where you are free. Lead you home, a home that is not too far away. Lead you home, a home where you'll always stay. For all time, for love has come to release you from your dreams of sorrow into peace. From dreams of sorrow into peace. Lay down all your fears, for they were never your shelter. Lay the stories down that you used to defend. For every step you take in gentle surrender is a step where your wounds finally end. Yes, a step where your wounds finally end. You were never lost, only dreaming of shadows, never apart from the love that you are. Let your heart be the place where in peace you do follow, the quiet light that shows where you are, the quiet light that shows where you are. Lead you home, a home that is not too far away. Lead you home, a home where you'll always stay. For all time, for love has come to release you from your dreams of sorrow into peace, from dreams of sorrow into peace.
There you go. Radiant Rabbit. I hope you can see and hear that okay. Give me a thumbs up if you can see and hear that. Okay, good. As you can see at the very end, I dedicated it to my granddaughter, Penny Amel, because I think that it's lessons like this for our younger generation that will break through and help us all to realize that we are all radiant. We are all shining like the sun. If we would but realize that I am as God created me, and if I remain as God created me, fear has no meaning, evil is not real, misery, sin, and death have no effect at all. So, with that, I'm going to turn it over to you for a moment, dear Christian, and have you share your thoughts, and we'll go from there. You're welcome.
We can't hear Christian too well.
Here, let's take these out. Just get nice and close. All right. So you can hear me right now, but you can't. Go ahead and put that in. You can't hear Christian at all. That's very strange. Yep.
Hello. All right. So we're talking nice and loud today. Um, well, welcome. Thank you for allowing me to share in this moment. This is such a light-filled moment. I wow. I was sitting here next to Jimmy earlier in the meditation, um, and I had all these thoughts racing through my head because he had said something about how I was going to be saying a few thoughts, and all of a sudden everything just sort of just went away, and there was this incredible, beautiful, warm presence that just came in, and it filled my heart, and it filled every cell of my body. And for a moment I was just so grateful that that moment occurred and allowed me to be free from all the thoughts that I would have running in my head. And it was in that moment that I also realized that that is the true condition of our nature, isn't it? One of a connection that is so broad and is so beautiful and is so warm that at any moment, if we can relinquish the necessity to define all of the thoughts in our head and all of the feelings that we have, and just come into that presence, that light, it shares us, it includes us in such a greater joining. which this seems to be a greater joining that's occurring. And as I understand, it's occurring every morning,
Five
and it,
days a week.
and it lasts all through the day. Wow, just amazing. So again, love is the way I walk in gratitude, which I believe is less than 94, I think, or 95, and actually 94 or
94 was the one we just read today.
94 was the one we read.
Yeah.
Okay, and love is the way I walk in gratitude is somewhere in there, but it is that love, that presence that I find for me, um, that is just so enlivening and reminds me that I am as God created me, which I could not be without you. And I could not be without you.
Mm, amen.
Yeah,
We do it together. We walk two by two into the kingdom.
two by two. So those are my thoughts. I really don't know what else to
That's
say.
perfect.
You're also beautiful, and this joining has just been so wonderful. And the weekend, actually, with Jimmy has been wonderful.
Well, except for later in the day yesterday, but we won't talk about
We won't go there. That's
it
okay.
because Bears lost.
Yes.
But who cares?
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, my dear brother. It's lovely to bring as many keys as possible into this. Every word that we share, every idea that blesses us is a key that fits into that door. So I would love to hear a couple of keys by Vicky and Benny. Let's start with our Victoria.
And Christian, thank you, Christian, for being there and joining us. Please, please come back. It's so wondrous and beautiful to see your radiant face and feel, just like two sisters, two brothers together. Everything, it's like the whole world is restored to all of us. And it's not, of course, just when we're in a room together, it's when our hearts let go of any sense of defense or separation from each other. So, but I do want to mention the Patriots did win yesterday. Just saying. I don't watch too much football, but I have to watch that. Oh, can't hear you, Jimmy. Anyway, but I'll tell you a key, and Elaine and I were talking about it this morning, because especially when you have a lot that might be going on, and we've got all these events coming up, that one key that works really well, and it is buried all over the place, is that key of only now. And when we just tune in, and it's just what you were doing, Christian, when you sat there and opened up to present warmth and love that does fill everything, and everything else is a fade out. Everything, it is just fades out. There's no need to address it, or it just fades out. When we're present and only listen to present direction and are present with each other, everything is kind of lilting, and whatever messages or work that needs to be done seems to be done effortlessly. Today we swim in the morning, and we were at the hot tub, and there was a lovely man in the hot tub who looked a lot. Some of you know Ted from Maine. He had big beard, big hair, and he was very sorrowful. He was very sorrowful. He kind of looked raggedy, like Radiant Rabbit did before he opened his heart and took flight. And he looked like Ted from Maine, who has the same kind of scraggly actual look, but his heart is open and he's a radiant being. And I thought, wow, look at that. And it was a wondrous little experience to see in my physical eyes the difference when a brother is lit up and when he's shut down and frightened. And all it is opening to the present. Because not only are we as God created us, there is only everything as God created. And it is all full of love, no matter what costume it seems to have on. So be present to the present moment, present direction, present joining, present everything. And that warmth has to fill us up because it is what everything is. That's my 2 cents on present, being present.
It was at least 3 or even 4 cents. So, thank you so much. Wonderful. Wonderful to see you both. And I'm glad the Patriots won. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. So now we can say, go Patriots. Instead of worrying about the Bears. It was quite an exciting game, though. It was the snowy tundra of Soldiers Field here in Chicago, and went into overtime. But in the end, and it's just an example and an opportunity for us to say that none of that matters. Nothing that we claim or get so focused on or even upset about really matters. All that really matters is us loving one another, us sharing that love, us realizing that we are as God created us, and that cannot change. And we were created in love. That's the key. We can't just say we're created as God created us, but what is that? It's love. It's radiance. That's why Radiant Rabbit is going to be a great character to share. Because even when he's got all the little rabbits around him, he's still radiating love. So thank you, my dear Vicky, and thank you, Elaine. Blessings to you both. Now let's bring Penny Honey on, and we'll invite you to share. Good morning to all of you there at Namaste Village.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Radiant Rabbit, I'm digging that guy. I think he was wearing a Bears t-shirt underneath his tuxedo. That was a tough hit, that overtime thing, isn't it? That's how they lost, was in overtime, the Bears did. And I really am sending them love. I don't know about that Patriots team, we can talk about that later, but the peace of God is not so far. That's what Radiant Rabbit reminded us of this morning. The peace of God is not so far, and I am as God created me. I don't like what that person just said to me, and I am as God created me. But that doesn't feel right, and I don't like the result of that, and I am as God created me. And I am as God created me. Peace of God just isn't very far when we can stay there in our hearts. I like that line in the song, the peace of God will lead you home. Home. Here our memories evolve. That's what home is for me. The peace of God is not very far. You know, that character, Radiant Rabbit, it made me think of Winnie the Pooh. And for many years I've studied the wisdom of Winnie the Pooh. One of my favorite quotes by Winnie the Pooh is this. He says, I always get to go, and I always get where I want to go by walking away from where I've been. I always get where I'm going when I walk away from where I've been. Do you have one little tiny thought in your mind that tells you that you are not as God created you? Do you have just one? If you don't, I want to have coffee because I want to talk with you. I want to hear how you stay in that place. What would the world look like if each and every being claimed, embraced, remembered that they are as God created them? What would the world look like if I remembered, like the rabbit in Winnie the Pooh said, that weeds are flowers too, once you get to know them? Weeds are flowers too, once you get to know them. And it has to begin right here in us, with us. We are as God created us. Oh, and some days she shows up so cool. I am so awesome in that God creation. I am so knowing. I am so connected. And I am. Wait a minute. I don't like that. What did he say? Who am I now? I'm still as God created me. Radiant Rabbit in his raggedy coat is still as God created him. Forgetting to say his prayers at night. Still as God created him. I invite you today, in what you are doing, in the one present moment that you may have, or the many present moments that you may have, to breathe this in. I am as God created me. I am. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, James. We're having a little trouble with your sound, so we may want to put the little earbuds in.
Me better now? How beautiful. By the way, Penny, I came up with another acronym for the word home. Heaven opens my eyes. My eyes open wide when I choose to see heaven everywhere I look. Heaven opens my eyes, and when that happens, I am home. And that's where each one of us are. But we have to open our eyes to see that, don't we? Not our physical eyes. That just shows us what's going on around us physically. But if we open our spiritual eyes by realizing I am as God created me, then I see that I never really left my home. I was safe and whole and complete everywhere, every moment. And to that completion, to that experience, we each say, Amen, 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 y punto. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed Monday, and we will see you tomorrow.
Thank
Namaste.
you. Have a great day.
Bye, everybody.